Today, we're talking about seeding on a slope, and getting grass to grow on the hilly part of your yard is one of the hardest things to do in lawn care. You're fighting gravity, nature, and time all at once. You have to get the seed planted and established before a giant rainstorm comes and washes away all your progress. But the good news is that it is possible to grow grass on a steep incline. And I've tried a bunch of different methods and products, and I've got a pretty good system, and it works every single time. I'm going to show you how to win with grass seed on a slope and how to avoid the dreaded washout. And there's one thing I'm pretty sure you've never seen before that's going to blow your mind in a nerdy grass growing kind of way. All right, we're starting right now. This is the hill on the side of my yard that I'll be focusing on for this video, and it might not look very steep on camera, but it's a legitimate slope and the grass is in rough shape. I'm gonna go over some prep work I did to get the area ready for seed, because if you're watching this, your yard might be having some very similar looking problems. So the grass was thinning out, and every time it rained, it was starting to erode the soil. So I've got these crazy uneven areas where the washout was starting to get bad. It's also hard to see that on camera. So I'm using this 2x4 as a straight edge, and then you can easily see how big of a gap or low spot I'm dealing with here. The entire hill was mowed low, and I quickly ran a dethatching rake through it. And again, my ruts are even more noticeable now. Because of that, I'm going to be bringing in some topsoil and doing a bit of leveling work too to kind of smooth those out. The dirt is hard and compacted in these areas, and that's never good for growing grass. So I'm going to start with this electric cultivator that's going to start digging in and softening up that soil a bit. This is just a cheapie I got off of Amazon, and I've used it a few times and it always works awesome, and it's actually pretty fun to use. Wetting the dirt would make things a bit less messy, but it wasn't too bad. You could do all of this by hand with a shovel too, but the cultivator just makes it faster and easier. Next, I'm bringing in dirt with my Gorilla dump cart, and you can pull these by hand, but it's way easier to hook it up to the rider because I'm on a hill. I'm targeting the low spots here, and I'm smoothing things out with a leveling rake, and you can see that once I get the soil spread out a bit, it's actually looking pretty smooth. That's basically the extent of my prep work. Pretty simple and straightforward. This next part is my seed prep, and this is where things get wildly different with planting on a hill versus just a flat yard. I'm starting with some dirt in a wheelbarrow, and I'm screening my dirt with a homemade sifter that's picking out any big pieces of bark or rocks, and I'm left with perfectly clean dirt to work with, and that's what I want. Next, I'm adding some peat moss to my wheelbarrow, and that's gonna help keep things nice and wet and really hold on to moisture as I'm watering. I'm mixing that in with the dirt and blending it all together. Check it out. Next, I'm adding my seed directly into the wheelbarrow with the dirt. I know, absolute madness, but trust me on this for 1 second. What kind of seed am I using? Well, if you just want erosion control like I'm after, Kentucky 31 is a super cheap way to get durable grass. If you want slightly upscale results, Jonathan Green Black Beauty Ultra is a great mid-level seed that I've used a lot. If this is part of your yard that you want to look really good, you gotta check out my buddy Jesse's grass seed company, Night Shift. He's got some of literally the darkest, greenest grass varieties that I've ever seen anywhere on the market. I've got my soil, my peat moss, and my seed all mixed together in the wheelbarrow, and it's time to add a bit of water. Oh, hey, real quick, everything I'm using in this video will be linked in the video description, so if you need more information, I always got you covered. As I add water, I'm continuing to mix things up so that everything gets nice and wet. You might be wondering how much of each product to use, and it's not really an exact science. I went a tad heavy on the soil, and that's making things clump more than I'd like, but it'll be okay. It's just not ideal. If you're new to the channel, I basically screw up every project I do, but I always leave the mistakes in the video so that you can see an idiot like myself can still have success. I'd recommend more peat moss than dirt, maybe 60 to 70% peat moss. As far as seed, check the application rate on the bag and compare that to the area that you're trying to seed and just adjust from there. I'm covering the wheelbarrow with a black trash bag and putting it outside for now. I've also secured the edges with tape so that it can't blow off, and I've basically created a greenhouse where the temps are going to get hot and humid. Perfect weather for growing seed. After a day or two, I wanted to check on things and get more water mixed in, and everything was looking pretty good. I looked close and I could see tiny white puffs starting to form on lots of the seeds. That's a great sign and a warning that I'm going to need to get these seed babies on the ground fairly quickly. So what I'm doing with my seed is a form of pre-germinating. It can be done in a bucket of water with the grass seed in a mesh paint strainer bag, or it can be done in a wheelbarrow like you're seeing me do here. Pre-germinating involves keeping the seed in a highly controlled environment right up until the point it's about to sprout and grow into grass. Once that seed is primed and ready to go, I'm quickly going to spread it all over my prepped area, and in a matter of days, it's going to shoot up into grass because technically I started growing it in the wheelbarrow first. So you might be wondering, why even do this? Why spend the time? This looks ridiculous. Well, it's because the biggest risk with seeding on a hill is washout from rain, and if I can shorten the window of my seed being the most vulnerable to weather, that's a winning strategy. Pre-germinating my seed like this will allow me to get it established in only a few days, and it will be less susceptible to rain. The trickiest part of this process is watching your seed and making sure you get it planted at the right time. I got slightly delayed by weather and life, and I almost missed my window. Check out the seed now. It's basically growing longer roots and turning into grass. Not ideal. You want to catch the seed right when you first start seeing those white little puffs, but when it looked like mine, that's kind of too late, but don't worry, it'll be fine. I shoveled the dirt and the seed mixture onto the prepped area and started raking it in. Once everything was spread out, I supplemented with a bit more seed because I didn't make nearly enough. The pre-germinated seed will definitely grow into grass because it already basically is, and once the sprouts start coming up, they'll help hold things in place for my dry seed that will be 7 to 10 days behind. Speaking of holding things in place, let's talk about ground cover. I'm using two products for this, and the first one is the same peat moss from earlier in the video. Peat moss is excellent at holding moisture, so I really like it for growing grass because I think it lets me use less water and actually water less frequently because the seed doesn't dry out as fast. This is a fairly small area, so I'm just spreading it by hand like a caveman, but I do usually recommend the use of a peat moss spreader. This one from Beaver is affordable and works great. The advantage with a compost spreader like this is that it lays down very evenly and it's really fast too. The next thing I put down is supposed to create a protective layer over your seed and also act as a starter fertilizer. It's designed to help hold things in place, so I was hoping it would help me out big time with my slope situation. Definitely make sure to slice the bag open as you're opening the box. Subscribe to the channel for more pro tips. Also went with the caveman approach for this product too. This product is large pellet-like granules, so I didn't think that they'd work in a broadcast spreader. Oh yeah, and dump all the spilled product out of the box too, I guess. Okay, my area was set and I was good to go. 2 days later and we're seeing results just as I had hoped for. You can see the growth popping up through my layers of cover, and to have this level of growth in just 2 days is the reason for the pre-germination steps that I took. The forecasts look good as far as no heavy rain, but those extended 14-day forecasts get pretty flaky that far out, and that's kind of how long most fescue grass seeds take to pop up. A 2-day forecast is pretty accurate though, so I knew I was gonna get little sprouts pushing up long before rain would have a chance to ruin my whole project. And that's maybe the biggest takeaway with seeding on a slope. Now, one factor that I didn't account for was a completely different type of nature working against me, and that's squirrels. I hate squirrels, and they were going crazy over this freshly renovated area, and it's really easy for them to dig in because everything is super soft. I set up a motion-activated sprinkler to really try to get them to stay away, and it actually worked pretty well. Squirrels don't like getting wet, and also my grass seed needs water, so frequent triggers aren't really an issue, and these sprinklers turn a problem pest into a double benefit. That's a win-win. I also fixed the initial digging they had done, and I added a layer of straw to further deter them. Easy straw is great, and it's one of the best ground covers right there with peat moss. It has a tackifier, which means that when it gets wet, it sort of like mats and sticks together, and that's great for holding down seed on a slope. We've talked about how rain can be catastrophic for a project like this, but you do still have to water it. So here's how to do it without messing it up. First and foremost, I highly recommend a timer to control the frequency and duration of the watering. Automation is the key because it makes things super easy. I like the Orbit ones just fine, and I've used them for a decade with hardly any issue. I just got this one from Rainpoint though, and it has a little bit more adjustability, and it can run a tighter frequency than the Orbit one can, so I've also been recommending those. Most sprinklers you buy off the shelf are called impact sprinklers, and they're the ones that go worked. Pretty good impression, huh? They work great, but they can be a little aggressive for new seeding projects. The water droplets are kind of big, and as they hit the ground, they can disturb the seedlings by moving or shifting them, which is not ideal. I've seen a few people make their own sprinklers, and that's exactly what I did. I'm using Hunter in-ground sprinkler components to make a portable above-ground sprinkler setup. The sprinkler body connects to an extension pipe and then a spike to stick in the ground. These rotator nozzles offer a nice gentle rainfall-like watering as they spin to get full coverage. I'm going to have a parts list in the video description if you want to make your own. Pre-germinating the seeds in the wheelbarrow with the dirt and peat moss mixture allowed my grass to establish really quickly before a rainstorm had a chance to wash out the project. And despite having to do some late repair work due to squirrel damage, everything turned out pretty good. You can see some of the larger bare spots where the squirrels got me good, but overall, the grass looks great. You'll see some straw mixed in, and that will fade over time as it gets mulched up, blown away, or collected by the lawnmower. If you like this video, check out some of my other lawn care content here. And if you're new to the channel, hit that subscribe and get notified every time I have a new video come out. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.